Strait of Hormuz. This narrow stretch of water controls nearly a fifth of the world's oil, and every day, the world's most powerful navy passes through it, but it doesn't control it.
I think we're through the casing.
So how did Iran end up controlling one of the most important waterways on Earth? To understand that, you have to go back to geography. The Strait of Hormuz isn't just any sea route. It's a narrow passage which is only about 33 kilometers wide at its tightest point, connecting the Persian Gulf to the open ocean. On one side, you have Iran. On the other, Oman. But most of the northern coastline and the strategic high ground belongs to Iran. And that wasn't an accident. From the days of the Achaemenid Empire to later Persian dynasties, Iran's predecessors dominated this coastline, simply because they were already there. No conquest needed, no invasion, just geography and time. But it wasn't always this important. For most of history, the Strait of Hormuz was just another trade route, until its real importance exploded in the 20th century with one thing: oil. When massive oil reserves were discovered in countries like Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and Iraq, suddenly, this narrow passage became the only exit for their oil to reach the global market. Today, nearly 20% of the world's oil passes through this single choke point, and that's when control became power. Because Iran doesn't need to own the entire strait. Under international law, every country controls 12 nautical miles from its coastline. And the Strait of Hormuz is so narrow, those 12 miles almost touch. Which means the world's most important shipping lane runs straight through Iran's waters. Oil tankers cannot avoid passing near Iranian territory or take an alternate route, especially when shipping lanes are only 2 to 3 kilometers wide. However, the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea mentions that ships have the right of transit passage, meaning Iran can't legally block them. But here's the twist. Iran still has sovereignty inside its waters. It can monitor ships, harass or inspect them, set navigation rules or threaten force, which basically means Iran doesn't have to physically block every ship. Even creating a situation where ships risk being hit, insurance skyrockets, and companies refuse to sail will alone shut down traffic, without Iran officially shutting the strait completely. And that's why the United States can't control the Strait of Hormuz. Because control here isn't about who has the most powerful navy, it's about who owns the coastline. And Iran doesn't rely on a massive fleet like the US. Instead, it uses anti-ship missiles from its coast and islands, naval mines, deadly and almost impossible to detect, fast attack boats using swarm tactics, and drones for constant surveillance and precision strikes. Even a small number of these can make the strait too dangerous for commercial ships. And in a passage this narrow, that's all it takes. Because in the end, the advantage belongs to Iran. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe our channel, The Curious Corner, for more fascinating content.